All right, hopefully you've completed the Delta Math assignment and you've finished the worksheet from above. So now let's do multiplying monomials. So to multiply monomials is a little bit different than adding. And the adding part hopefully was review. And the reason I did that was just to do something that you know how to do. And also so we can emphasize the difference between when you add or subtract monomials and when you multiply them. So when we're multiplying monomials, what we're going to have is we're going to have some variable or number times another variable or number with powers. And the whole idea here is to figure out what we're doing with our exponents. The overall goal of this unit is to talk about exponents and exponent rules. So right here, this is our first rule, and this is called the product rule. And it's when we multiply the same base, we add the exponent. So x to the a times x to the b is x to the a plus b, which should make sense because like if you have x squared, that means x times x, right? And if you have x cubed, that means x times x times x. Well, now we have 5 total x's, so where would 5 come from? 2 plus 3. So x to the 2 plus 3 power is x to the 5th. So let's write this rule out. When you multiply the same base, I'm going to write it over in the margin here. When multiply the same base, and that's important. It has to be the same base. Like you can't do x to the a times y to the b. That you just can't do that. You add the exponents. Multiply the same base, you add the exponents. That's the big takeaway from today's lesson, hopefully. So, instead of writing number 18 out, let's just think about it. You've got a to the 9 times a. What's our exponent when we don't write anything? It's 1. So it's a to the 10. All right, now try number 19. See if you can figure it out. It's by yourself. Ready, go. So you should have got w to the 11th power, because 7 plus 4 is 11. All right, so that's what you do if you just have one variable with one exponent. Now, what we have to do next is we have to figure out what to do if we now have letters and numbers. Remember, when you have a number in front of a variable, that's called a coefficient. That's the number front of the variable. Might have been a while since some of you guys have done math, so I'll just review that vocabulary for you really quick. Alright, so that means for number 20, you can kind of rewrite it as 4 times 3 times x squared times x to the 5th. So you multiply the 4 and the 3, which is 12, and then you multiply the x squared times x 5th, which means we add the exponent. So you should get x to the 7th. So 4x squared times 3x to the 5th is 12x to the 7th. All right. So real quick, give 21 a try. What do you think you should do first? Hit pause if you need to. All right, I got 15. See if I can write 15 properly. 15x to the 8th power. Because 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. And 6 plus 2 is 8. All right, give 22 a shot. Hit pause if you need a little bit more time. But I got 30x to the 2 plus 4 is 6th power. All right, the next set of problems here has numbers and then more than one variable. But it's really just the same idea. First, multiply the numbers. -4 times 3 is -12. And then you have a to the third times a squared is going to be a to the 3 plus 2 is 5. And then b times b to the fifth is b to the sixth. Don't forget, if there's nothing written for the exponent, it's a 1. So 1 plus 5 is 6. Or you could just think of it as I have b to the fifth, I'm multiplying one more b, so it's b to the sixth. And that's really all there is to this. You do have to keep track of your invisible ones. And I'm going to do number 27 because I've given this worksheet multiple times, and every time people get stuck on number 27. So if you want to hit pause right now and try number 27 on your own, do that. But then right now I'm going to go over it. So hit pause if you want to try this on your own before you see the answer. And then I'm going to go over it right now. Okay, so 27 has not a lot of numbers. You've got this 6, but then most everything else is just A's and B's. So what you have to do, I feel like the best way to start number 27 is add your invisible ones. This AB would have an invisible 1 in front of it. And then the A would have an invisible 1 as an exponent, and so would the B. And then here we've got 6, A to the fifth, B to the first power. And then negative AB is really -1, -1, A to the first, B to the first. So now that we've added our invisible ones, it's really just like any other problem. You've got 1 times 6 times -1, which is going to be -6. So I'm doing -1 times 6 times 1 is -6. And then I'm going to do the A's. A to the first times A to the fifth times another A to the first is going to be 1 plus 5 plus 1, which is 7. So A to the 7th power. So A. And then last, we need to deal with our B's. So we have B to the first, B to the first, and B to the first. So that's a total of 3 B's, B to the third. So our final answer is -6, A to the 7th, B to the third power. So that one, it can look a little tricky because there's not a lot to start off with. But once you add in all those invisible ones, it's not so bad. Alright, so what I want you to do next is finish this problem set here. And then there's actually a homework assignment associated with this. So if you go down, you're going to finish this page, and then I want you to continue practicing. But I assigned this page on an assignment on Teams. So when you finish watching this video, you need to do 2 things. First, you need to do the assignment video, the video assignment, the video quiz, to show that you watched this video. And then what you need to do is you need to do this page right here as a worksheet. So you either would fill it out on your computer, or you could fill it out on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and text it to me. But either way, this is the practice you need to do for this section. Unfortunately, there's no great delta math on these problems, so I need you to do them on this paper. Alright, hopefully you now understand how to add, subtract, and multiply monomials. I'll see you in class.